Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you the thickest laptop I own, the IBM ThinkPad 380XD laptop. But first, some backstory about how I got this laptop. This computer was purchased locally for $10. I then purchased a charger on eBay for $20 including shipping, as the computer did not come with one. When I first got the laptop, it had a very bloated Windows 95 installation, which was obviously installed from the original installation CDs at some point in its life. There were no personal documents, but there were a few blank documents on the desktop, and the 4GB hard drive was split into two 2GB partitions formatted with FAT16 for some reason. I didn't feel like cleaning up the original Windows 95 installation as it was extremely bloated, so I reinstalled Windows 95 on the computer as new, and spent the next 3 hours in driver hell until I got almost everything working. I still could never get USB working, but it wasn't even working in the old installation. This computer features a 233MHz Intel Pentium MMX CPU along with 32MB of RAM and a 4GB hard drive. This, while not enough to run any modern operating system, works very well and smoothly with Windows 95, as this computer was released right at the end of Windows 95's life. Of course, with Windows 95, you can blue screen it by simply typing in con/con in the run box. One thing I haven't yet gotten working is the computer's internal clock. This ThinkPad uses a very weird CMOS battery connector with the positive and negative pins on the outer side of a 3-pin connector, so I can't just use a battery from a more modern Lenovo ThinkPad laptop. This means that every time I shut down and turn on this computer, I have to set the time again, which is very annoying, but I am planning on ordering a replacement CMOS battery from eBay at some point. The main battery is something I don't really want to test, but being about a 28 watt-hour battery probably would be good for 3 or so hours of use. This is the power adapter to this ThinkPad. This computer uses a 16-volt power supply in comparison to the more modern 19-volt power supplies we see today. While this computer only needs 2.45 amps, this power supply is 4.55 amps, only because that was one of the power supplies that I found on eBay. This is not a big deal because the voltage is exactly the same, so there's no way for it to cause any issues. If you flip this switch at the bottom of the charger, the input changes from a 120/240 volt mains input to a 12 volt car charger port, so you can charge your ThinkPad in a car using the included car charger adapter. I have needed to charge my modern laptop in the car occasionally, so this is a very nice feature that I wish more modern laptop chargers had. On the front of the ThinkPad, we have 2 speakers powered by a Crystal Sound Blaster compatible chipset or the PC speaker. They sound fine, but are nothing exceptional. Take a listen to them, playing the Windows startup sound. The keyboard, on the other hand, is exceptional and very nice to type on. In fact, it was used to write this entire script. It also makes a very nice sound. Take a listen. The track point, as always, is an excellent way to move around the system. However, with no scroller, it's a bit annoying to scroll things with the scroll bars on the side. The display, a 12.1 inch or 30.73 centimeter TFT active matrix color display running at a resolution of 800 by 600, is genuinely very good. The resolution is very low for 2020 standards, and it's kinda dim, but the fact that it's TFT rather than the older STN or HPA standard brings it up in status quite a bit. The response times aren't great, but overall it is a pretty good display. There is also a physical brightness dial and an IBM ThinkPad logo right on it. On the left side, we have a hard drive bay, held in place by a single coin-sized slotted screw, but I find it a lot easier to just use a flathead screwdriver in that slot. Next to that, we have 2 PCMCIA card slots, a volume wheel, a headphone and microphone jack, and a power switch. Around back, we have a PS2 mouse port, a 16-volt power port, USB 1.0, serial, parallel, and a VGA port. And this is where the laptop's thickness really starts to show. There's an infrared port, which can be used for wireless data transfer as far as I can tell, as well as a CD-ROM drive and a 3.5-inch floppy drive stacked on top of one another. That's how thick this laptop is, and including the screen, this computer's thickness is a total of no less than 2.25 inches, or 5.71 centimeters. Despite this computer's thickness, it is still useful for some things, such as playing old games, using older applications and operating systems, and getting into retro hardware. It is a lot easier to move around than a large tower PC, with a bonus internal monitor as well. You can't really use it for online use as there's no Ethernet port or even a 56K modem unless you install a PCMCIA card. I've also experimented a bit with trying to install Linux on the computer, but it seems impossible for whatever reason. From looking at user forums, everyone is having a similar issue where the computer kernel panics during the boot. However, I do not recommend this particular laptop as they are not very common and are highly sought after by retro computer enthusiasts like me. I couldn't find a single one on eBay, and while many of the completed listings are fairly cheap, they are all for parts with some issues except for one that was sold for over $300. If you can find this laptop or a similar ThinkPad or other retro computer for cheap, I would highly recommend it for retro computer games and programs. Just make sure that you have an IDE to USB adapter and a spindle of blank CDs. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Put your comments, questions, and suggestions down in the comment section, and until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.